Scottie Barnes. This was a topic that was inspired by a Reddit post. Uh, Basically, the question was Scottie Barnes snubbed from the USA team? And talking about this, I don't want people to focus on whether it's not about whether or not he got snubbed. I'm looking at it as, would he be ready for this is he ready for this USA team? Right? When you look at guys like Reeves, so Austin Reeves and Barnes came in the same year, and I think it's fair to say that Austin Reeves is ahead of him right now, right? Mm-hmm. In terms of like big games, right? FIBA is a big situation, and remember, not remember. In our other live, we spoke about the fact that the USA team did not do any tryouts or cuts. So they just made their team based on who's healthy and who they feel like is ready to go. Again, there was no tryouts, there was no cuts for the USA team. So that whole roster that you see, they picked that roster based on guys they feel like are in shape, both in body and mental. Okay? So the fact that you see Austin Reeves on the roster, guys like Austin Reeves, and even Paolo Banchero, who came in a year after Scottie Barnes, right? And let's be fair, Paolo was picked first too, right? Paolo was picked first, and he scored 20 points a game, right? He's not a slouch, and he's balling right now, okay? So Paolo came in a year after. Let's be fair, he has a lot more upside, and he's closer to his goal than Scottie Barnes is. But let's be fair for Scottie Barnes. Let's look at Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant came in, and again, we have him on the thumbnail for this week because it was his birthday on the 23rd. So we'll show the thumbnail of Kobe due to his birthday, so everybody keeps him in memory. But with Kobe Bryant, his first 2 years weren't the greatest, right? He was a project. And I wish I could see what people had to say back then. Let's say you had social media back then. What would people be saying about Kobe Bryant in his second year? Let's put it this way. Scottie Barnes got Rookie of the Year, and in his first year was a starter. Kobe Bryant was not a starter in his first year. Okay, Kobe Bryant was a clear project. Everybody knew that he was going to be something. Well, not everybody. Really, the Lakers staff and who drafted him. They seen something in him, just like the Raptors seen something in Scottie Barnes. And let's not forget also, I'm not going to say that Eddie Jones is the reason for Kobe Bryant, but I'm telling you, Eddie Jones played a big role in shaping Kobe Bryant's game. He helped refine Kobe's game. Okay, so let's not go too deep into that. What I'm trying to say here is that even though Scottie Barnes might not be there yet, and watching the FIBAs, I could say like the FIBAs is a very fast pace. Like you have to be making your decisions on the fly. Like even look at Bobby Portis. Some people would be like, oh, why is Bobby Portis on the roster? Well, Bobby Portis, he's been playing the game for some time. He has a championship. He plays with an organization that's tip top. And when it comes to the FIBA games, he's a quick decision maker. He knows what to do. You see what I'm saying? And it's going to take Scottie Barnes a little bit of time, but the thing is, you got to look at it. It's a bigger project. Bigger projects take time, right? So if someone was going to give you a Kobe, and they say you're just going to have to wait a couple years, 2 or 3 years for him to develop into that player, would you do it? Would you put in those 2 or 3 years? I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. That's why I am not bothered. I'm not bothering Scottie Barnes, even if this third year is not his year. I'm not pressuring him. Okay, let him get the time. If they said this is who we're rolling with, let him get the time. But with that being said, I still do think he would help the USA team, because what it's going to come down to, the USA team, they could use a little bit more defense and size. Okay, and Scottie Barnes brings both. He gives you both size, defense, and good IQ, good playmaking. So to tell you the truth, I think it's really the USA who's missing out, to tell you the truth, because he could have took Josh Hart's position. Because they're pretty close in terms of Josh Hart's giving you defense. Josh Hart's a little bit more mobile with the ball handling. He could get around a little bit more easier. But I think Scottie Barnes could have easily took that spot. There's no one else on the roster I could say I would take out for Scottie Barnes. I mean, you could name anybody. You could name Cam Johnson. You could name players that you think, like even Walker Kessler or Kessler Walker. I don't know which one's his first name from his last. Sorry, but you know they need a guy like this. Kessler Walker is what, like 7'1". I think Jaren Jackson Jr. is about 6'10", so they need the size. You can't take Walker out. So I like their squad. I like the USA squad. But if I was begging to get Scottie in, I'm like, just get Scottie in, just put him in. I'd take Josh Hart out. You don't need Josh Hart. You got guys who could hit the three. You got guys who could handle the ball. But that's begging. The US they don't have to do that. Maybe they feel like Josh Hart is just the piece they need. And let's be fair, there are a lot of other players that could have made it even over Scottie Barnes. Let's not act like Scottie Barnes is the only player that's not. There's many players that could have been on there that's not on there. And again, what I said is the players they picked were based on who's 100% healthy. Scottie Barnes, I think it's fair to say he's not 100% healthy. And that's something that Toronto Raptor fans should be happy about, is that he's not stressing those lingering injuries. He's taking the season off to get himself together and be ready for the 2023-24 season. So all in all, what I'm saying is I'm glad that Scottie Barnes is not playing, because I want him to get himself together. I want him to be healthy, and hopefully it doesn't bother him. I don't think it should bother him. If he is who he's supposed to be, then he will be on that USA team at some point. And you got some crazy Toronto fans saying that he'll play for Canada because he's going to be a Canadian citizen. But y'all could just stop that right now. All right? So let's just stop that, okay? If he does want to be a Canadian citizen, that's great. But I'm not gonna wait for that.
Nope, not gonna happen.
So that's pretty much all I gotta say on that. There's some stuff that I wasn't able to get to, but like I said, we already did this topic on Sunday, and unfortunately the video was taken down, but we felt like we had to get this out of the way so that just to do it's due justice. But I think if it was up to Scottie Barnes alone, he might take it. He might take it. He's a young guy, right? If he has those advisors around him, the right guys around him, and if he's willing to listen to those guys too, because he could do what he wants, right? So yes, he would have to agree. If his advisors are saying no, don't do it, he would have to agree to that, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, he'd be making that smart move and saying, okay, and then that's a possibility, right? That's a possibility. Maybe he did turn it down. It's just not the time for him in terms of, his body. Just get that rest. This is vital rest right now, the off season.
True, yeah.